Hey there everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to do a tutorial on how to do the anime head and face. And I'll teach you using shapes and whatnot and guidelines. So that way it'll be easier, because I always use shapes and guidelines. And it makes the drawing a lot easier. I'm not just going into drawing it. So I'll use those to help guide you a little bit. But right now I'm going to draw a small circle about here, because I'll put maybe two heads over here, maybe one bigger head over here. I think I'll do that. Just a circle. And you can erase these if you want. I'm just outlining how big it may be. And if you hear something in the background, that's just my fan. So you're going to want just a circle like this. And if it's hard to draw a circle, I do recommend maybe some guidelines, or maybe kind of as if you're going to do a triangle first. Not triangle, diamond shape. And then you can circle around it, kind of like that. Almost those kind of guidelines. For this head, I'll have it turning or facing a little bit out this way to its left. So right here, I'm going to put in a guideline. I'm going to start from the very top and do a slight curve all the way off the circle, because we're not stopping at the circle point, we're actually going down further. You can go down really far if you want, but I choose to keep it short, especially depending on how long your character's jaw is going to be. Just making sure that's in line for you guys. So, for a lot of mistakes I used to make, I would always bring the jawline to here, but because our face is turned, we want our jawline more over here. But I'm going to start from over here. So when a face is being turned, oftenly, with some characters, may make a slight curve with other characters who are maybe younger or have shorter chin lengths, like maybe children, have more of a curve in to their faces, but not all the time. Just a slight curve. And I'll use arrows as guidelines too. Now we're going to stop right here, and we're going to, from this dot right here, we're going to have a curve that goes all the way to maybe where our chin is going to be right here. Maybe up higher. But like I said, it depends on how long you want your character's jaw to be. Just a slight curve, and then going down. Slight curve to go down. Sometimes I might have my length, my curvy length up here too much, and you can always bring your chin length back up higher. That looks a little better. So now over here with the jawline I was referring to, you're going to want it more, about right there would be fine. And take a piece where we have just a little bit of our chin here. We're going to not do a full straight circle, we're actually going to make it slightly curvy. Sometimes characters have, depending on the art style you're drawing, I assume. Some anime characters, artists do their manga styles with just straight, but some do it more curvy Okay, now that we have that in, I'm going to put in some guidelines, and we're going to draw the faces after each head has been drawn. Okay, so now we have our jawline in. And we got the rest of our head up here. Now with that, we're going to draw the ear. I'm not always that greatest at drawing ears, but I try to make do with it. So with the ear, it's kind of slightly curved almost. It's not like just a straight ear like this. Our ears are kind of almost off-centered, so they're kind of slanted. So I'm going to make a guideline kind of going off the edge. Then another guideline kind of curving towards the head and going almost pointing to the jaw center. And now what we have here with the dot that we have here, I'm going to go right here just below the dot, very curvy, and I'm going to stop at the dot, almost stopping at it, not entirely, but just right above it. I'm going to go make it straight right here, and then with the dot right here, also going to make it slightly curvy. So we have 4 dots. I don't normally use the dots, but I'm using it for educational purposes. And then we're going to bring it, remember, slightly curvy, not straight, but slightly curvy, way down here. And then below the dot you have over here, closest to your jawline, going to make it curvy right there. And there you have the ear. It might be too big, it actually might be really off-center too, but you can always resize it if you'd like. There, that looks better. And then you got the rest of the head. Now what I like to do, from the ear to the other side, I'll just pop an ear there in case it's showing. The dot that we've created here, and let's pretend there's an imaginary dot somewhere over here where the other ear would be, and the dot just slightly above these two right here. I'm going to take my guidelines, dots, and make an arrow. So this is kind of like a guideline for me, as if apart from the head here, this would be like the face and the rest would be the head, where the hair will probably show up. And there you go. Now you got side face or head, because we haven't drawn the actual face yet, but I'll do a mapping of the face when we're all done. And now for a different angle. We'll draw just another circle here, just a rough circle. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just kind of depends on like what size your circle is going to be. And so I'm going to make this also slightly turning, but not entirely. But just a little halfway, not halfway, but almost away from it. Just a straight arrow all the way down. Not darken it. Straight arrow that goes all the way down. And sometimes what I like to do when I have a guideline arrow going all the way down, I like to put the chin right below it, so that way it helps me know where exactly my jawline is going to go. You don't have to do it. You can even do just a dot if you wanted to, but I like to do that. And we have to remember that the jawline doesn't go all the way to where the circle is. It actually ends somewhere right about over here. So now, with the dots that we have on each side, I'm going to start with jawline to the left. So we're going to create kind of a straight line towards here, and we're going to stop almost halfway, right about here. Same with the other side, just straight line. With here, this is kind of like where the jawline is supposed to be over here, so we are going to curve it a bit. And then slightly have it go all the way down, so curve this. Goes like that, so I'm gonna go straight, then curve. Straight, then curve. Almost straight, just a slight bit curvy so it looks a little more natural. One straight, then roughly about where your guideline is, all the way down, but we're gonna have it slightly curving because our character is still kind of looking in a different direction, or it's, I mean, the angle of the head is still in a different direction. And now for the ears, time slight straight, and then a little bit of a curve. And dots here. I don't need the dots, but you can definitely use the dots if you need to. The way I draw the ear, slight downwards and down. And if you need reference to how to draw, or if you're wanting to know how to draw something, I strongly recommend Pinterest. Pinterest is really good for reference sheets. And just like what I do with the other head, from both ears, although the ears may be off center, like I said, because I'm not always good. Sometimes you have to replace them. And the dot here, the dot we have over here, mapping out where the face is gonna be. Okay, now, let's see, how long is this? Oh, okay, a minute. Now I'm gonna do a much bigger circle for a bigger face. And then we're gonna make this character looking straight ahead, so I'm going to do a line that goes right between both sides, so straight in the middle, line that's going all the way down. Now our dots here, so we want it to be not all the way up to here. I want it slightly more down. So straight, almost curvy line. And then just gonna pop in a couple of quick ears. Then another guideline. Okay, now that we have that, I'm gonna map out the face and maybe draw some eyes, nose, and mouths. But I'll do it on our bigger piece right here that we have right here. Up in the neck for our character. And so sometimes if you need to, you can have the ears go down a little more, but I don't really think that's much needed right now. Maybe with this one because it seems a little higher than the other. Okay, so I'm gonna leave the circle on. Normally I erase the circle, but I'm gonna leave it on for educational purposes, again, like I said. And for the guidelines for my eyes, I use crosses. And then I use circles for the noses, especially how big the nose is going to be. So I'm going to have an eye here and another eye here because our character is looking straight forward. So cross right here because you want it in kind of like where the circle is going to be, not so much of where the circle ends over here. This circle I'm talking about, the circle that we draw for the head. just a cross. Then another cross. And sometimes our nose can be a little bit below the circle piece right here, but it doesn't always have to be. In fact, I'm going to do it right in the middle. I might make it lower later. Our circle, just right here where the nose is going to be. And I don't have any guidelines really for the mouth, really, but with the real face in real life, kind of like anime, our mouth will end over here somewhere and start below the nose over here. So maybe we'll have this character smiling or doing some other motion, but I'll add in that line for now. So now, for an eye, let's do maybe innocent eyes. So what I like to do is, sometimes these crosses on the ends are too long and you might have to erase sometimes or do the whole eye over again. But from here, let's pretend they're imaginary dots here. Just imaginary dots, and we're gonna kind of create a circle again. Almost. But we're gonna have this half part go a little more straight. And then down here from this dot, it's gonna go all the way down. I'll erase a little bit just to make a gap right here. And then I'm gonna do maybe fill in the eye a bit. Create a little bit more of an outline so it looks more full. Now I'm gonna erase cross. I don't feel like I need it right now. You can leave it on there, but I'm choosing to erase it. And now I'm gonna add in the eye part. And this mouth is kind of tripping me out, so I'll erase it. Oop, almost dropped my pencil. And now we're gonna do the same thing with the other side. So imagine if this eye is being like mirrored almost, as I would say. I don't really have too much advice on how to do that. I'm not the best teacher at showing people how to draw, but this video was requested, so I thought, hey, why not give it a try? If you have any more suggestions that you'd like me to do, I may be able to do them, but I'm not the best at drawing really everything. Oh, keep a reminder that sometimes your eyes may be too close to the ears. Sometimes you need to have the ears extend out more because they may be too close to the actual face. Or you may need to put in your eyelid in a little bit more if it's not working out. Just kind of connecting. And then right here. And maybe some eyelashes. And up here, kind of where the skin is, where it has that extra eyelid, I suppose you could say. So where the eyelid appears, almost. And right above this, you're gonna have your eyebrows. So I'm gonna just have our eyebrows kind of working up a little bit. Just a curvy line. Eyebrows like that. Okay, now time to erase some more of this. So now with the circle I have here, I'm going to draw my nose. I don't always draw my noses kind of like the natural kind of traditional anime. I like to make a curvy line right here. And then the underside, do a little bit more of a curvy line. However, most times you won't do this big curve right here. You'll actually just create the other nostril like this. So I'll just leave it right there. Sometimes I like to use that as my guideline. And then right above here, you don't have to do this step, but I like to do this to make it look a little more natural, kind of like letting you know hey, it's a nose. And then I do that. I'm gonna add in my natural look. And now, just below the nose, we're going to do a mouth. So, let's have her smile a little bit. So just a little bit, not actually smiling. I'm starting again. So we're gonna do just a slight curve, and that's way off center. You have to do it directly below. And mine may be way too far away from the actual nose, but that'll be fine. So if you want, you can kind of create a guideline slightly straight, and then right here, kind of where the eye is, right here, I'm gonna do a slight, another curvy line, and then just a, and there you go. So it's like a curvy line going up, almost. I'm gonna darken those areas. Okay, now, below that, I'm going to add in the lip part. My smile looks really bad. Normally I draw mine's better than this. That looks a little better. Okay, now. And then what I like to do is I like to do just a little bit more for the top lip. You can skip that part, but I like to do that. And then the ear. Just a quick design for the ear. And then maybe just a little bit of hair. With characters with innocent faces, kind of like this, big eyes and whatnot, I recommend making the circle a little bit more wider, because I always tend to create my character kind of with a longer face and with big eyes, so they look kind of like older but also innocent at the same time, and it looks kind of weird sometimes. So I definitely recommend trying to do not what I always do, so try not to make the same mistake as I do, that kind of thing. And then there you go, you have the ending of my tutorial. I hope you enjoyed that. Bye.